Hi guys, my name is Tori Ferguson and this is my chapter 3 video. So my country for Miller Mar is Cuba, and so this one was kind of a doozy because we've had a rocky relationship with Cuba through their limited contact with America, but I think the research I did was alright. So the labor laws in Cuba have been rocky in the past with the Castro Revolution. Yes, that's literally what it was titled on the website. I'll link it. But labor was nationalized and workers were guaranteed only 50% of their salary because socialism is the government style in Cuba, and all workers work for the state. So volunteering is common and strikes are prohibited. So the culture surrounding is one of forced serving for your country, and citizens are essentially made to work with or without pay, and poverty is an unfortunate constant element for many. And then labor trends consist of pretty much any able-bodied individual performing their duty, which is what it said, duty to work for the state of Cuba. And Miller Mart must have a very tight contract with the Castro Regiment. That's what they called it, by the way, the Castro Regiment, to even have the ability to open a store there. But we can get local employees and pay them according to the adequate wage, which is 400 Cuban pesos a month, roughly $16 a month. In terms of benefits, there is a national healthcare system for every citizen, as well as a Cuban national social security. So any other benefit would have to be approved. So like we couldn't offer them, free dental, because that doesn't come through the state of Cuba. But the local economy is obviously run by these socialist ideas, so all money pretty much belongs to the state, and any income and work belongs to the state. But that means they can recruit through word of mouth and government assigning, so like you can be assigned a job at Miller Mart. And then bringing American workers would not work for us because they would not work for lowered wages. And while Americans are allowed in Cuba, it's very, very limited, so the likelihood that you could even get over there to work is slim. So bringing American workers would not work. And then there would be a language barrier, but if it's just me as the representative going over there, I could take a translator to help me get my job done, or I could learn Spanish, obviously. And then to start and set up the business. But in terms of training, the government would have to approve anything beyond the basic training of like stocking, cleaning, organizing, and sales would be monitored completely through the state, and they would get their share first. So in terms of my own questions, because Mr. Miller asked that we come up with half a dozen other questions, well, things that he hadn't thought of that may or may not influence this business. So I came up with these. So I would change, well, these aren't really questions, but ideas. I said I would change the products that we carry to include local products and anything fitting government regulations. And then I also said our previously very rocky relationship with Cuba may lead to some workplace tension or some workplace communication issues. And then I said it would be hard to keep in communication due to technology in Cuba not as advancing as quickly, because America is largely advancing always. And then I said a large portion of our profits would go to the state of Cuba, making the utility of this deal questionable. I'm not saying we shouldn't go to Cuba. I'm just thinking that's an interesting development considering all the regulations and workarounds due to their socialist government and our rocky relationship. And then managers would come through the Cuban government, so we would need a very close business relationship with Cuba. And then finally, specifics like dress code would have to be disregarded due to the barriers already. So that was my chapter 3 video.